Hello, my friends. This is Pamela from Too Few Acres in Alabama. We've been here come April 16th. It'll be 1 year, and we have done a lot of cleanup. The amount that we spent for this land and the house, we shouldn't have all this trash, but we've taken out now 3 trailer full of trash to the dump, and I'm sure that we're going to take out more. We'll find more. I know we have some down in the creek. So I can't do raised beds this year. We're paying off debt, and we're just going to take all that money that we would spend for raised beds and go ahead and put that towards our debt. But I planted a lot of herbs right there. There was no weed barrier there. So I went ahead and planted my herbs in that spot, and they're coming up. We did that about a week ago. The soil was black, had some rock in it. We removed the rock, but like I said, the soil was black, and normally you find like clay and stuff around here. But I think they used that as a garden area maybe, because like I said, the soil was black, it looked good, and it was loamy. So we went ahead and planted the herbs right there, and then we have cabbage and radishes in the area. We got some new lights. Donnie picked up some mushroom lights. He likes mushrooms. But we went ahead and planted right here, like I said, about a week ago, and everything's starting to come up. We planted cabbage. We planted radishes, kale. We're going to be planting red romaine lettuce, mustard greens, and arugula there. At least that's the plan. We have it all going on in pots right now, and I will be planting them either today or tomorrow. But this is a nice little area. It gets morning sun and early afternoon, so therefore they're not getting beat with the hot afternoon sun. And this isn't an ideal spot, but it was one of the spots that I thought that it was freed up. There was enough space for me to plant my herbs and some of my cabbages. And also I got pak choi in there. I have, like I said, radishes, kale. So it's an all around spot for like my greens, anything that's a cool weather, just to keep the sun off of it. We did have to remove a couple of dead trees that were tangled up in some wires, that electric wire and an ATT wire, and we wanted to get them down before it got any worse. Then, like I said, they were dead, and so it wasn't like it was a loss. And that needs to be cleaned up anyways. It has blackberries in there, wild ones. Now we're inside. This is some of the stuff that's going into my garden. There's arugula, there's garden cress, there's red romaine, there's mustard greens, and then I have birdhouse gourd and basket gourds that are all growing up in here. And I also have another one that I just planted. It's repotted, and I'll show it to you guys here in a few minutes. But this is how you got to do it. You bring them in at night, take them out during the day, let them get that full-on sun. But they're doing great, and they're ready to be planted. That's the plan, either today or tomorrow, is to plant them and get them in the ground. And I'll get most of those up front, and then some of them I'll get off to the side where there's a fence, so that way they can kind of hook up to the fence, because they're climbers. Growing vegetables is fun, and I have some more over here. I have tomatoes in the back and leeks, and I have some sun golds that I've been trying to get planted again for my husband. But I have several different types of tomatoes in there, and I'll go over them another time. I know I got brandywine, green zebra, and then the rest of them are marigold plants that I'm planting. So my garden's not going to be overly large, but it's going to be enough to do like salads and some vegetables. And I am growing a few plants that are going to be loofahs. I know I'm going to do a couple of basket gourds and a couple of birdhouse gourds. Basket gourds, they can get up to 100 pounds each gourd. So I'm probably going to have the guys help me do that. But this is a great little planter. My husband got it for me. It's a wicking concept where it sits in the water and it just absorbs whatever it needs. It has the lights and a timer, so I set it for 12 hours and it shuts off on its own and it turns on its own. So it's really a great little system. I had it last year and I used it and got all kinds of life. And I've been having a little problems with the seeds this year because they're kind of old. So I've been having to replant until I get one that will be viable enough to give me a start. So this is a different little system that my husband picked up for me for Valentine's Day. It's a hydroponics. I wasn't really into hydroponics. I didn't think that they would work very well, but they do. And I have jalapenos and cherry tomatoes growing in this thing, and they look amazing. They're just like 43 days I'm into this, and they're absolutely huge already. And I got a lot of flowers on them. You do have to be the bee. You have to pollinate them yourself, which basically is tapping the limbs or, you know, brushing across the flower, however you want to do it. I've been tapping because I don't have time to stand there and meticulously brush over each flower. So I really hope that is enough to pollinate them. But you can see, I mean, these are my tomatoes, and after 43 days, they're doing great. I mean, look at all those flowers. There's a cluster right there, and there's clusters everywhere for the jalapenos and the cherry tomatoes. But you can see right there, it tells me that the water is full. It says that you can put it all in there and put the water in and literally forget it, but you can't. You cannot forget it because these guys will absorb water. In the beginning, I usually had to water them probably about once a week, once every 2 weeks, and now I'm having to do it about every other day. And I don't let it get any lower than where it says medium, because it'll say full, medium, and then low, and then I'm sure it'll say empty. And so I only let it get to where it says medium, and then I just put a cup and a half of water in there, a 16-ounce cup, and we're good to go for another couple more days. But they're absolutely doing amazing. I have some others that are planted outside, and they're just barely doing anything. I mean, they're in dirt, and I think they're about 2, maybe 3 inches tall, maybe a little more, not much. And these guys are just going absolutely bonkers. So hydroponics is a good thing if you have the money to get one. I would definitely suggest it. I got the 9 one where it has the 9 little holes and where you can put your pods in. And these are the pods that they gave me. And then this is the plant food, and I only put 2 capfuls in it I think it's every 2 weeks, whenever it tells me. And you don't want to add more, and because you're just basically wasting it. You just add 2 capfuls to a 9 pod system, and you can see now in the bottom of the plants, you can see where there's no leaves. I wanted to give them a little airflow. Now I'm outside. I took the plants outside, and as you can see, they're all out there. It's about 54, 56 degrees. A lot of these are cool weather plants. The loofahs aren't, but 55, 56, I'm sure they'll be okay. And then you can see right there, you can see them a lot better. My husband had the week off, so we did a lot of cleanup. We organized the shed so that way we can find everything. We hadn't done that and it's been a year. So it was definitely time to do something like that. But we cleaned all that up, and if you've seen my other previous videos, you've seen that there was a trailer full of junk that we found on the property, and also there was a tarp with stuff under it, and we got all that taken care of and cleaned up. Now we can park our cars back there. There's going to be a garage in that area, so that's a perfect spot. And the tarp has another vehicle under it. It makes everything tidy and out of the way, so I'm able to see the dogs as they play in the yard. Because they would go on the other side of the vehicles, and then I wouldn't be able to see if they did their business or not. So that's the videos of everything right there's all that is blackberry bushes, and like I said, we want to clean all that up. They got some vines in there that will literally choke them out, so we want to get all those vines out of there and all the limbs and stuff. So if you're new here, do you think you can subscribe? It's free and it helps my algorithm. If you're not new here, howdy, 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 and I'm glad you're still here. Okay, friends, that was my week and weekend, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, friends.